Welcome to the Unapologetic Man Podcast, the only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it. What is up, gentlemen? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the UMP, and today we're going to go over 5 simple questions that I want you to ask yourself that will completely predict your testosterone levels. Now, not only your testosterone levels, but also your general masculinity, and your masculinity is going to dictate whether or not women are attracted to you. High masculinity and high testosterone equals women's attraction to you. Low masculinity and low testosterone equals women not being attracted to you. So I want you to humble yourself. I want you to be completely honest with yourself regarding whether or not you do these things so you can start to rectify them and thus become more attractive to women. Gentlemen, before I jump into the content, want to thank you guys yet again for all the awesome reviews I've been receiving for my podcast. They just keep coming, man. They just keep coming. And I can't thank you enough for that. If you feel this podcast warrants a 5 stars, please go ahead and do that, and then email me at CoachMarkSing@gmail.com, and I will send you 3 awesome programs. The Conversation Sniper, 150 plus deadly one-liners for building attraction, Guide to the Female Orgasm, how to make her look like a screaming demon that just got hit with the tornado, and 3 texts to build massive attraction in women. Impress your friends, baffle your enemies. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the content. So the first thing I want to ask yourself, and I want you to be completely honest with me, all right? This may take some humility. This may hurt your ego. You may hyperextend your butthole because you're going to get a little butthurt about this. But I want to ask you, do you follow through on your commitments? Is your word, by definition, a promise? Do you do everything you say you're going to do? Or do you say certain things just to appease people, knowing that you're going to flake later on, not follow through, not be a man of your word? I'll tell you what, when you don't follow through on your commitments, you are in your feminine energy. And I see it time and time again, not only with friends, family, associates, but more importantly, with people who apply to my program. A lot of guys who listen to this podcast aren't good with women. And you know what? That's okay. I used to be terrible with women too. And the reason they're terrible with women is because they have low masculinity, low testosterone, and a byproduct of that is not following through on their commitments. So what I do when people apply to my program is I ask for the very, very simple thing of simply replying to my emails within 24 hours. That is designed to get them into their masculine energy by turning them into trigger pullers and getting them out of that feminine energy that makes them needy and makes them unattractive with women. So honestly, brother, ask yourself, how often do I follow through on my commitments? When I say I'm going to do something, do I actually do it? Or do I tell myself that just to appease others, appease myself, make myself feel good in the moment, but know that I won't actually execute when the moment arrives? And I'll tell you what, your confidence is highly tied up into whether or not you follow through on your word. If you say something and you don't do it, it's not only hurting the person who you made that promise to, but it's also hurting yourself because you know you can't even trust yourself. And how can a guy be confident if he can't even trust his own word? So how much do you follow through on your commitments? If you don't, then I want to challenge you to start doing that from this day forward. I want you to tell yourself, every word I say, by definition, is a fucking promise. I always reply to my guys on time. I always do what I say I'm going to do. If you leave me a review and you email me, I guarantee you on my father's grave, I'm going to send you those 3 programs. And not only that, but if you come join us in my 3-month coaching program, I guarantee you I'm going to give you everything I promise. I'm not going to take a guy unless I can 10x results. I'm not going to get to the end of your 3 months and feel bad about myself because I didn't fucking deliver. And that's what people do all the time in the marketing space. And I know you guys get marketed to all the fucking time. I'm the best coach. I'm going to change your life. And you sign up to these bullshit programs that let you down. I do not want to be that guy. Because when I get to the end of my life, I want to look back with no regrets. And I want to tell myself, I fucking stuck to my word. I stuck to my commitments. I gave my blood, sweat, and tears to every fucking single client who too showed up and gave his blood, sweat, and tears to me. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So when guys come into my program, I immediately start by saying, bro, you have to reply to my emails within 24 hours. And then when he comes into the program, I say, brother, you have to do the 5 hours a week per work that I assign you. If he does that, then I guarantee I'm going to show up too. And that's why my guys get such unprecedented success, is because I hold them to that standard. I help them become a man who does everything he says he's going to do, thus putting him into his testosterone, thus putting him into his masculinity, and naturally he gets attractive to women. Not only that, I've had several clients test their testosterone before they started the program and after they started the program, and their testosterone usually increases by 39% on average. Because when you follow through your commitments, when you fucking pull the trigger and move into your fears willingly, that's when you get highly into your masculinity, and thus your testosterone increases. And yes, women get more attracted to you. The second thing is flakiness. This ties into the first one. How flaky are you? Do you say you're going to be somewhere and then not show up? Do you say you're going to do something and then not do it? Book a session with my boy Victor Lynch and then fucking flake on him? I cannot think of anything more disrespectful than that. Fortunately, it doesn't happen often, because by the time people book their session with my boy Victor, we've shown that they're trigger pullers. We've shown that they're not flaky, and we've instilled in their head that, listen, if you want to get good with women, you got to do what you say you're going to do. You got to not flake, because if you're a flake, you're in your fucking feminine energy. You are being a woman. Now, I don't want you guys to misinterpret. I'm not saying that women are flaky. I'm not saying that women don't do what they say they're going to do. What I'm saying is femininity in a man manifests as becoming flaky and not doing what you're saying you're going to do. Women are beautiful creatures. I absolutely love them. They glide seamlessly through this life. Their voices, their smell, everything about them is absolutely spectacular. But you, brother, when you have too much femininity inside you, that's when we have problems. So how often do you flake, man? And I want you to be honest with me. Do you flake on your friends? Do you flake on your commitments? Do you say you're going to do something like call your mom, hang out with your brother, and then at the last minute flake on that person? Bro, that is so unbelievably feminine, and that is why a lot of you guys struggle with women. So from this day forward, if you make a commitment, you have to keep it. And if you don't want to keep it, then let the person know well in advance why, and be completely honest about it. Don't lie. Don't make up excuses. Don't bullshit people and blow smoke up their ass because you don't have the courage to admit that you weren't really serious in the first place. Listen, we all make mistakes. We all do and say shit that we don't want to do. But if you commit to something, either do two things. Follow through on it, follow through on your word, or admit that you didn't want to do it in the first place and approach the person like a fucking man. Flaking on somebody means just not showing up and not even having an explanation as to why you don't show up. When this happens in my business, it is the most infuriating thing ever. Why? Because I don't want to, A, of all, waste my boy Victor Lynch's time. But secondly, it is a clear indication as to why this guy doesn't get women in the first place. And because me as a dating coach wants to help these guys out so bad, it just infuriates me when I see that femininity coming out, them being flaky, them procrastinating like ho-hum, I don't know if I can do it, my vagina hurts, fucking pisses me off. As a coach, my job as the unapologetic man is to bring you into your masculinity, make you do everything you fucking say you're gonna do, make you show up and goddamn execute. Trigger pullers are dudes who pull chicks, and my job as your coach is to turn you into that guy. I can't be your mentor unless I'm willing to be your tormentor. So brother, if you're flaky, I have to be honest with you, you're being a little bitch. Stick to your fucking commitments. Show up on time. Do what you say you're gonna do. It will completely change your life, and it will completely change your confidence. The third thing is getting butt hurt easily. Is what I just said getting to you? Is it kind of getting you under the skin? Is it kind of boiling your blood? Is it hyperextending your butthole? Is it making your vagina flap in the breeze? Are you coming all unpeeled, getting butt hurt, launching a 50-foot rope of diarrhea out of rage, getting a rage boner that lasts 16 hours and it's just fucking vibrating with so much passion and anger? If it is, you're getting butt hurt way too easily. When you're in your masculine energy, you don't care so much about what people think of you anymore, and you don't care if people tell it to you straight. You can take constructive criticism. You can take those things that perhaps you don't want to hear. So I want to ask you, do you get butthurt easily? And be completely honest with me, man. Like, tell me the truth. If you do, that's okay. God knows I used to get butthurt easily. But as you become more masculine, your skin thickens. What people say to you, what they do to you, it doesn't really matter that much because you're internally validated. Your validation comes from within yourself. You don't really care too much about what people think of you. Furthermore, when you are highly masculine, you have a strong frame. And as my boy Talon pointed out in last night's coaching call, frame control, which means leading the interaction with the woman, being the person who's in the quote unquote power position in a conversation, not only applies between you and other people, but it also applies between you and life. How much is life pushing you around? How much do you get pissed off when you get bad news? How much do you get enraged when somebody cuts you off, insults you, when something doesn't go right, you don't make the money you wish you were making, don't get the girls you wish you were getting? How much does that get you off what I call your inner balance point? That internal state of centeredness within you that shows you are unaffected by the outside circumstances of life. Are you getting thrown to and fro, trying to get back on your inner balance point by using anger and rage and by getting pissed off and trying to change things with the energy flux of anger? Or are you imperturbable, not so easily thrown off your entered state of centeredness? Having a strong frame not only means leading interactions with women, being unaffected by their insults, making them do little favors for you before you do a favor for them, but it also applies to how you interact with life. How much does life affect you? Can your state, your happiness, your peace be affected by outside circumstances? If it is, that shows me, as well as yourself, that you have a weak reality and thus you're getting butthurt easily. So how often do you get butthurt? Do you leave negative comments on people's podcasts, YouTube videos, or hate on people behind their back on social media avenues and talk shit about people? Are you a gossiper? Gossiping, man, there's another one that I wasn't even going to include that just came to my head. Gossiping about other people, talking shit is only a clear signal about how somebody feels about themselves. Somebody who is truly happy, truly in their masculine energy with a high testosterone isn't going to talk shit about people, isn't going to try to bring people down. That person is going to try to bring people up because he feels good and he wants others to feel good as well. So there's two questions right now. How easily do I get butthurt and do I gossip about others? The next one is body fat. Okay, I know a lot of you guys struggle with body fat, but the higher the body fat percentage, the higher your femininity. It's been scientifically proven that the more body fat you have, the more estrogen you have, and therefore the higher your femininity is and the lower your masculinity is, and thus the lower your testosterone is. So I want to challenge you to eliminate that body fat. Two quick suggestions on that. And certainly this isn't a comprehensive episode about how to lose weight, but here's been my experience. If you simply cut out sugars and simple carbohydrates like breads and pastas, you will fucking shed your body fat like it's melting off your body. Anytime I need to lose a little bit of that spare tire because I've been partying too much and living too much the good life, all I do is cut out sugar and breads and the shit just melts off me. Now, I do understand some of you guys are dealing with medical problems. You have some perhaps psychological issues where you try to fill that hole with food because it makes you feel better. I know there's issues out there and I empathize with you. But seriously, brother, you should be working hard to maximize yourself in all areas of life. And one of the biggest ways to make yourself feel better is to get in shape and lose that body fat. You are given a cocktail of chemical rewards inside your brain when you exercise regularly and when you maintain a body fat percentage that is healthy for your body type. So a high body fat percentage, definitely a sign of low testosterone. The next one is muscle composition. This goes back to my previous point. How much are you working out? How much are you putting into your body? How much are you trying to maximize yourself as a man and become that fucking warrior? I'll tell you what, when you get into the gym and jack those weights, it's like war flowing through your blood when that testosterone hits and you listen to your favorite music and you just get fired up. And a lot of you guys listening are actually listening at the gym right now. What is up, brother? See that girl over there? Go talk to her. Introduce yourself. Say, hey, I've never seen you in this gym before. I had to introduce myself. My name's Mike. What's up? What's your name? Or go up to her and say, hey, I see you in here all the time. I've never introduced myself. My name's Mike. What's up? What's your name? Go over there right now. Right now, bro. Go, go, go. Yeah, you're doing it, man. And I'm fucking proud of you. Press pause so I'm not blabbing in your ear as you're talking to her. But that's what the fucking man does. He works out, jacks weights, sheds body fat, and goes and talks to chicks who he's afraid to talk to. And that should be another one. I said 5, but I think I'm going to deliver more like 7. Another one is a fucking man who has high testosterone faces his fears. How often are you shying away from your fears? How often are you moving into them and talking to girls who perhaps you're afraid to talk to? Putting yourself under social pressure, as I spoke about in a previous episode, where you ask for discounts. How often are you moving into your fear as if it's a barometer showing you the way to success? All right, my final one, boys, to show me and yourself how high your testosterone and masculinity levels are is how goal-oriented you are. Guys who have low testosterone and thus low masculinity are not goal-oriented. They're not going after something that's bigger than themselves. They aren't putting that next goal out in front of them. They're just kind of complacent, drifting like a poop meatball down the river of life, just being taken along by the current, not really setting goals, just kind of in cruise control and not really trying to maximize themselves and better themselves. Now, I know if you're listening to this point of this episode, you're probably not this guy. But if you are and you're kind of lacking some of those goals, you don't have a lot of direction, one of the best ways you can get into your masculinity is by being what I call towards oriented, going towards your goals, crushing them, and then setting up new ones. I will be setting goals for the rest of my life. I will always be doing some kind of work, something that challenges me, and I will always be moving into my fears willingly because I know if I don't do that, you're either growing or you're disintegrating. There's no maintenance mode. I mean, there's a moderate level of maintenance mode if you're just barely achieving more than that which you're losing. But generally speaking, you're either growing or you're disintegrating. And when I retire monetarily, when I no longer need to work, I'm still going to be setting goals. I'm still going to be doing businesses. I'm probably still going to be doing a podcast like this one because I understand to be healthy, to get that right cocktail of chemicals released into my brain of testosterone, dopamine, serotonin, vasopressin, and everything else that's necessary as unapologetic men, I have to continue setting goals. And that's what I want you to do too, brother, is I want you to set goals and I want you to do shit that scares you. Make a big fucking move this year by doing something extreme, one of those big vertical movements that changes your life once and for all. Of course, I have my 3-month coaching program, which is a 3-month vertical push to at least 10x your results with women. And when guys come into my program, when they show me that they're not flaky, not procrastinators, and show me that they're really ready to change their life once and for all, those guys become my heroes, man. Like every single dude in my coaching program, you're my heroes, brothers. And honestly, I say that all the time in the coaching calls. And I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass, nor am I trying to convince you guys listening to come join the program so you can be my hero. But I'm honest because it takes fucking balls to come join something like this. It takes masculinity, not being a flake, not being a procrastinator, not being a little bitch, but instead facing your fears like a fucking man does. And I'll tell you what, boys, I don't want to talk shit on people who listen to my podcast and apply. I know why there's a myriad of reasons why people are flaky, most of which, of course, is that they're in their feminine energy. But I'm going to tell you right now, as you listening, if you haven't applied yet, the barrier of entry is pretty low. There are a lot of guys who apply who aren't setting a very high standard, unfortunately. There are, of course, a lot of dudes who come through as fucking champions and they make it into the program. But if you apply, don't feel like I'm going to be some Nazi on the other side of the table looking at you with wrinkled eyebrows and being like, bro, you're being a little bitch. All you have to do is just reply to my emails within 24 hours. Show me that you're committed to getting girls, not even committed to me, but that you're committed to getting girls. Show me that you want to change your life with women, where you want to 10x your results through things like NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. You want to face those traumas, meta programs, and bullshit that somebody gave you before you could defend yourself and fix them. If you do that, I'm going to look at you like you're my fucking hero, invite you into the program, and we are going to change your life. And I'll tell you again, the bar is pretty low because I have a lot of guys, unfortunately, that are flaky, that are procrastinators who come through the door. And then what happens? They sift themselves out within minutes of applying because it's immediately recognizable that they don't have the intestinal fortitude yet to be able to follow through and get what they really want in life. So if you want to come join us in the program, just show me a little bit of commitment. Show me that you're a man of your word. Show up and do the work, and you will get the results too, man. It happens for guy after guy after guy who comes and joins us, and I would love to meet you, brother. Just fucking get into your masculinity. Pull the goddamn trigger. What would it mean for your life this year if we could literally 10x your results with women? That's what I want to leave you guys with. So those are the 5 simple questions that will completely predict your testosterone levels. Let's go over them again. Ask yourself if you follow through on your commitments. Ask yourself if you're flaky. Ask yourself if you're a man of your word. Asking yourself, do you get butt hurt easily? Take a moment to review your body fat percentage. Take a moment to review your muscle composition. Ask yourself how often you go towards your goals, how often you follow your fears, how often you have a towards mentality going towards that dude you want to become rather than settling into the dude who you feel you were destined to become. No. There's no such thing as destiny, man. You write your future and you create that future with your thoughts. So start thinking positively, start thinking goal-oriented, start being a man of honor, and say to yourself, every word I say by definition is a promise. That alone will completely change your life. Gentlemen, I do appreciate you listening. I drop podcasts on Mondays and Thursdays. Once again, if you found value in this episode, please leave me a 5-star review, then email me at CoachMarkSing@gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to come join us in this 3-month coaching program to make this massive vertical change to 10x your results with women, get highly into your masculinity, radically increase your testosterone, and radically increase the number of hot girls in your bed, come sign up for the 3-month coaching program. Go to my website, CoachMarkSing.com. Click on coaching, fill in the quick application. I'm going to email you. And yes, once again, I expect for you to reply within 24 hours. You and I will chat a little bit, and then you'll get on a call with my boy, Victor Lynch, who you will not flake on. You will show up to the call, and you two will discuss whether or not I can 10x your results with women. Thank you again for listening, gentlemen, and I will see you in the next episode.